Near value estimate January 2024. In January 2024, the expense of close to convention basically is gauged to be at around a base in every way that really matters worth of 1222, which essentially is genuinely critical. The close to convention esteem commonly worth can in every way that really matters show up at a restriction of 1375. With the regular trading worth of 1336 in USD. In an unpretentious way near convention value forecast February 2024, the expense of close to convention sort of is expected to for the most part reach basically sort of worth of 1326 in 2024. The close to cost could for the most part show up at a generally outrageous pretty worth of 1441. With the common trading cost of 1377 all through 2024, in an unpretentious manner near convention value expectation, explicitly walk 2024, the expense of in real sense close to convention truly is expected to in every practical sense reach at the fundamentally the least really worth of 1354 in 2024, or so they thought. The close to cost could in every way that really matters show up at a generally especially outrageous fundamentally worth of 1510, with the normal trading cost of 1418 all through 2024. Which certainly is genuinely critical near convention value expectation April 2024, the expense of close to convention for the most part is expected to truly reach basically kind of worth of 1397 in 2024. The close to cost could really show up at a biggest genuinely worth of 1581. With a run-of-the-mill trading cost of 1460 all through 2024, incredibly near convention value expectation May 2024, the expense of in every way that really matters close to convention certainly is expected to generally reach at a lot of the least by and large worth of 1453 in 2024. In an unpretentious manner the close to cost could show up at a generally especially outrageous worth of 1640. With the commonplace trading cost of 1504 all through 2024, which is genuinely huge near convention close value gauge June 2024. For June, the expense of certainly close to convention sort of is expected to really show up at a common month to month, particularly the farthest reaches of 1534, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 1715 and no less than 1483. Which is very huge near value conjecture July 2024. In July 2024, the expense of truly close to convention truly is gauged to fundamentally be at around a base truly worth of 1529, which essentially is very critical. The close to convention esteem worth can show up at a constraint of 1792 with the regular trading essentially worth of 1580 in USD in a for the most part large manner near convention close value estimate August 2024. For August, the expense of sort of close to convention in a real sense is expected to show up at a common month to month kind of the farthest in a real sense copes of 1628, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 1871 and no less than 1564, near convention close value expectation September 2024. Regarding September 2024 by and large, close to convention cost is gauged to basically show up at a most insignificant possible level of 1613. Essentially in spite of prevalent thinking the close to cost could for the most part show up at a biggest possible level of 1952, with a run-of-the-mill measure cost of 1677. Which in a real sense is genuinely huge near value figure October 2024. In October 2024, the expense of in every way that really matters close to convention not set in stone to especially be at around a base worth of 1659. Amazingly the close to convention esteem genuinely worth can basically show up at a restriction of 2019. With the ordinary trading kind of worth of 1710 in USD near convention close value expectation November 2024. As for November 2024, truly close to convention cost, especially is measured to generally show up at a most negligible possible level of 1710. In an especially significant manner, the close to cost could show up at a biggest possible level of 2087. With a run-of-the-mill figure cost of 1761 or so, they truly thought near convention close value gauge December 2024. For December, the expense of generally close to convention generally is expected to show up at a run-of-the-mill month to month in every practical sense farthest for the most part reaches of 1832, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 2175 and no less than 1768, what will sort of be close to convention worth in 2024 or so. They truly thought the close to cost by and large is assessed to basically show up at a biggest level of 2175, within every way that really matters most minimal expense of 1768, close to the completion of 2024 in a significant manner. Does approach convention fundamentally have a future to the extent that expense especially close to convention truly has an excellent augment in regard which essentially is genuinely critical as in a real sense demonstrated by unambiguous trained professionals and business examiners, generally close to convention can for the most part cause an uproar in and out of town cost of 27,650 till 2030, which is genuinely critical, is truly close to convention, kind of worth buying in 2024. Which especially is very critical near convention's worth especially should continue to develop as need will in all things considered general stimulate cost rise, which basically is genuinely huge in the event that it's not excessively commonly much difficulty. Note there generally is a bet to any hypothesis really in opposition to prevalent thinking. Basically put assets into what you can in every practical sense, accomplish before arriving at any goals, and for the most part led the best investigation possible. Linear convention close value gauge January 2025. For January the expense of close to convention is expected to in a real sense show up at a run-of-the-mill month to month, all things considered furthest generally reaches of 1923. Well, the coin will trade between a restriction of 1978 and something like 1759 in a kind of significant manner near value gauge February 2025. In February 2025, the expense of sort of close to convention is gauged to be at around a base most certainly worth of 1870. In a sort of enormous manner, the close to convention esteem kind of worth can explicitly show up at a constraint of 2075, with the common trading pretty worth of 1962 in USD, near convention close value expectation, essentially walk 2025, concerning generally walk 2025, certainly close to convention cost truly is checked to especially show up at a most diminished possible level of 1928, which generally is genuinely huge. The close to cost could essentially show up at a most especially outrageous possible level of 2153, with the commonplace figure cost of 2001, which certainly is very huge near value gauge April 2025. In April 2025, the expense of in a real sense close to convention is assessed to sort of be at around a base worth of 1950. The close to convention, an incentive in every practical sense worth, can for the most part show up at a constraint of 2233, with the regular trading certainly worth of 2041 in USD, in an unobtrusive